I only have Noreen, Emily, Al, and Laura. It might be public stuff, Jefferson.
Yeah.
Do you have participants?
Yeah, do you want to bring that up?
There's panelists and then just one attendee, which I guess is the staff TV, so it's really just a panelist, I guess.
Okay, awesome. Yes, 701. We don't have everybody. No. Justin's leaving. Emily, we just don't have Galen.
Emily's here. Yeah.
We just don't have Galen. Yep.
Right here.
That's okay. We still have quorum.
Okay.
So we do have quorums.
Awesome.
I forgot where the library was. Like the library.
Oh, no.
Sit with us.
Are we ready to roll? Yeah, come sit. We don't have to then. I don't put anyone that. Ready?
Ready.
Okay. So good evening, everybody. Tonight is January 25th. Welcome to tonight's presentation of the Madison Capital Improvement Program. The next slide. So our committee is comprised of 2 elected representatives from the Board of Finance, myself and Justin Murphy. Board of Selectmen, Al Goldberg and Noreen Kokaruda. Board of Education, Emily Rosenthal and Galen Cawley, who has graciously served as my vice chair. We were happy to welcome 3 community members who are Joan Walker, Gus Horvath, and Laura Downs. I'd like to thank all the members for their time and engagement in the process and thoughtful questions throughout our meetings. I would like to especially thank Stacy Novitz and Kristen Bartose for helping to shepherd us through this process. Their experience and dedication is second to none, and I know all members of our committee and our community are grateful. Thank you both. So the next slide. So what's going to be discussed tonight? Tonight we're going to review the CIP process, look at the recommended capital expenditures, get a long-term look at the 5-year plans, and of course provide you the opportunity to contact the committee with questions or suggestions. Next slide. This fall, the committee received a comprehensive outline of all capital requests submitted to the first Selectwoman's office. After the election, our committee was formed and we got right to work. We had an initial public hearing on December 7th to review our process, and over the next 5 weeks, met with all department heads to review requests and any changes since last year and to deliberate. At our meeting last week, the committee voted to recommend the CIP plan you will see on the next slide to the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance for their review. Next slide. So this slide details the 5-year plan approved by the CIP committee. This summary shows all the capital needs for the next 5 years by department, as well as funding sources identified in order to pay for them. The actual CIP document has all of the details behind every project. It's important to remember that the year 1 projects will occur if approved, but that years 2 through 5 are subject to change because this is a planning document and we review it each year. This slide also, it's important to note, does not include the possible bonded projects that are in the referendum. So looking at funding sources, I'd like to highlight that there are grants that help pay for these projects. The town was awarded grants in year 1 of the program and plans on applying for grants related to years 2 and 3, which include the emergency shelter, planning, and construction. Total anticipated grants for all capital projects is $3.2 million over 5 years. For example, as you can see on your screen, in years 2022 and 2023, there's the West Wharf dock system for $80,000, Concord Meadows to Route 1 walkway for $400,000, Garvin Point bulkhead wall at the Surf Club for $750,000, Garnet Park bridge replacement for $431,500, Flintlock Road bridge replacement for $294,550. And in years 2023 and 2024, and then the following years, 2024 and 2025, we've, as I mentioned, will address the emergency shelter and the generator. You can also see that we're proposing a total of $2.6 million to be funded through the American Rescue Fund plan funds. And on the next slide, you'll see the breakdown of that. The remainder of the projects will be paid for through the capital project funds. And here is that slide that I discussed. This slide details the capital projects proposed for the American Rescue Plan funding for the next 5 years. The goal here was to enhance and repair some of the outdoor amenities for our town, including playground renovations at the Surf Club and Academy, and upgrading public restrooms at both East Wharf and West Wharf beaches, as well as Rockland Preserve, addressing the HVAC at town campus, and a possible storage building at the town garage. These requests will further be reviewed by the ARP committee and the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance. And then the last page, this is a summary of the annual capital budget. We're looking at a $3.8 million capital budget for fiscal year 22-23. As you can see from the bottom line on this slide, we try to level out the funding so there's no big tax increases. Gratefully, the last 2 years, our funding has been level. The highway equipment and town vehicle study last year illustrated that we need increased funding in that area. Technology also shows an increase for the phone system and other technology upgrades. And then, so that is the presentation for tonight. Hard to imagine that was about 8 weeks worth of work, but here we are. If you would like to review this information more closely, you can find it on the website that is on the screen. And certainly you can email any of your elected officials at any time. We just want to thank everyone for their engagement and for being part of the discussion. And we wish you a good night.
We'll open up for questions.
Sure.
Stations and questions.
Sure.
If there's any public.
Sure. If there's any comments or questions from either anyone on the committee or any members of the public who are attending, just raise your hand.
Katie, can I just comment? You can hear me okay in there?
Certainly.
Okay, I just wanted to thank you all. This is my first time serving on this committee, and I've found it really enlightening. Appreciate all the time and work that has gone into this process, the presentations from the town departments. I know I learned a lot about the tremendous planning that goes into this. So I just want to say I appreciate it and appreciate all the hard work that everyone has put into this.
We loved having you with us, Emily. Thank you. Any other committee member comments or members of the public that would like to speak? Okay, hearing none, we can adjourn.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Where is everybody?